Today I'm speaking with Gareth Jones, Craft Sportswear sponsored athlete and ultra runner. Hi Gareth, how are you?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me on today, Mark. I really appreciate it.
No problem. How did you, I know people jog, people run, but how do you go from like everyday kind of just going for a run to ultra running? And what got you started in running in the first place?
I guess like a lot of people in the world, lockdown got me running. I was sitting in my house during lockdown, being sent home from work for 4 months. One day, my anxiety and I guess the stress of just having nothing to do took over, and I was like, something has to change. So I bought a cheap pair of trainers from Primark, cost me about £12, and went out one day up the mountain. First off, it started as 5 kilometers, then 10 kilometers. And before I knew it, I was running 20 kilometers every day. And this is in a matter of, a couple of weeks, couple of months. And then, so that would have been in the November. By the August of the following year, the furthest distance I had run was 32 kilometers. But one day I decided to get on a train to the top of North Wales with a bag on my back, and I decided to run home.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was my first ultra marathon, so I ran home 200 miles.
So where's home?
South Wales, Aberdeen.
All right, yeah. So whereabouts in North Wales did you go to?
So I travelled down the Offers Dyke, so I went to a place called Mold.
I know Mold, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got family up there, so I stayed the night with them and then jumped on the Offers Dyke in the morning in the pouring down rain.
Well, it's always raining in Mold, so it's always like that. So how did you come across Craft Sportswear? I mean, what is it about it that you like, and what different things do you kind of wear and why?
So growing up, because I come from Aberdeen, and obviously the craft warehouse for the UK is very close to my hometown. So growing up, I always seen people wearing craft or going to these craft, open days. I was never really a sports person, so I never really got into it much. But then it was about 2 years ago, and Paige, so one of the people that work in craft, she reached out to me, invited me along to one of these open days that they were having, and I bought myself a couple of t-shirts, and I thought, this is really good quality. This is good kit, but when I was looking through the website for like ultra running kit and everything, it wasn't really there then. I'll be honest with you, it was more into the cycling, but over the past year, Craft have brought out these, all this trail wear, and it's just fantastic, Like I done a competition on the weekend, and 3 weeks ago I raced across Switzerland, and I used the hydration belt, and the Craft running tights. So the Craft trail tights, because they've got loads of pockets in them on the sides, around the waist, I was able to use the shorts to store most of my safety kit and my snacks, and then I could use the hydration belt for water. Now, what that means is, because the weather has been so warm, I haven't had to wear my running vest, which stops me sweating so much, which means that in theory, I could carry less water. At first, I was reluctant, but I give it a go, and I give it a go out in Switzerland, 100-mile race, and you could see the difference.
Yeah.
All the people carrying these heavy waist packs, running vests, and I had the waist pack on, and it done the job. It's really, really, really good. And it's something I'm going to use now, for all my remaining races this year.
So what's up next for you? What's your next race?
So my next race and the last ultra I have of the year is Glasgow to Edinburgh. in 2 weeks' time. It's a GB Ultra race. So we start in Glasgow, 100 kilometers, just straight towards Edinburgh.
Yeah.
I think this one is nice and flat, I've heard. So, but then again, you know, that's going to be a total different race because a lot of it's on tarmac. So for the past few races, I've been using the Craft hybrids, so the Explore trainer.
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest, like I've done reviews of these online. I've never come across a trainer like it.
Right.
The first time I wore them was in Switzerland on the 100 miler, and I will be honest, I took backup trainers in my drop bags, trainers I felt comfortable in the past, just in case just in case the trainers didn't play ball. Every drop bag I kept getting to, I was like, no, these are fine. These are fine. And I wore them and the same socks throughout the entire race.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And when I finished, I've washed them and everything, and it looks like they haven't been touched. I've since wore them for cross-country races and a 16-mile race where I finished second and third place in. And I mean, they're just incredible trainers. Mm-hmm. Even though they got referred to as clown trainers on top of a peak in Switzerland, I was like, they're definitely contenders for other makes and models.
Yeah. But you might be saying they're clown trainers. You go, well, I'm not the clown because these are great. You're the clown. That's it. Like, and I'm very honest with my reviews. And my, if something doesn't work for me, then I'm not going to big it up. It doesn't matter if I'm sponsored by someone or what. Yeah. Like the followers I have, they trust my opinion. But these trainers, they are incredible. They treat your feet well and everything. Yeah. But as I was saying, Glasgow to Edinburgh is going to be a total different race. So it's going to be a set of road trainers for that, I think. Right. Okay. Now, how do you train? I mean, what's your kind of regimen? Do you train like that, or do you just, because you said you went out, you started running, you did 5 to 10, 20 miles. So what do you run every day?
Pretty much every day. Now I do a lot more strength work. So last year I was training for John O'Groats to Land's End, and I found I was training every day. Then I was like doing 100-mile weeks back to back. But then by the time I got to do John O'Groats to Land's End, I had loads of injuries and I had niggles, and I wasn't really looking after my body. So this year has been slightly different. I've offed so put in comparison, this time last year my overall kilometers was something like 4,600 kilometers by this point. This year now it's only 3,200. So I'm doing a considerable amount less of running, but I'm doing more longer races, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing more strength and conditioning work throughout the week, which I've seen a massive benefit from. With my physique and with my overall mindset as well.
So if you were to give advice to someone who's just going to start out running, as you yourself basically just got off of the couch 5K, what would you say to people to begin their running journey?
So the first thing I'd say is, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? Mm-hmm. Pick that big goal you have for 5 years' time. So for me, it's always been the Marathon des Sables, which I'm doing in April. Something that I wanted to do a few years ago. Now, what I mean by that is have your goal set in your head for the future, but then don't aim for that goal because it'll always feel out of reach. Mm-hmm. So set yourself little goals along the way. And I'm talking by week by week by week. So, wake up one day and say, today I'm going to run 20 kilometers this week. When you get to the end of the week and you've run 20 kilometers, give yourself a bit of praise, give yourself a pat on the back, and then the following week then do the same, and just keep gradually building it up like that, because like we all know the saying, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah.
And I found with a lot of my clients, especially the ones that do like the 100 milers before they come to me, they'll all they'll think about is this 100 miles. And then when they have a bad week, they'll think, I can't do that, I can't do that. But it's just having these little goals set along the way that make you feel good, you know, and then one day then you're ready for the big time.
Excellent. Well, I think that's sound advice for everybody, not to kind of just rush into it and try and, you know, say, oh, by the end of the month I'm going to be like a super athlete.
Yeah, exactly that. You know, it takes time. Like, just to give you a bit of a background on my past, like 10 years ago I was a massive drug addict. You know, I was addicted to amphetamine. Now it's taken me 10 years to get into a comfortable place where I can probably finally look in the mirror and like what I see. You know, I'll never be perfect in my own eyes, but it's taken 10 years to get where I am. And that's all because of patience, you know, patience and determination.
Excellent. Well, that's great. I think that's great advice for everybody is, you know, have a goal, set yourself a goal, and then go for it.
Yeah, exactly that.
I mean, you say your clients do, so you're a running coach as well now.
I do a little bit on the side, so I don't charge people. It's just something that I do just to try and help people and give back who is in my position. So I run a mental health platform online, and they reach out to me for help. And you know, the least I can do is just spend a couple of hours a week on someone to help them, to mold them into what they already are. But sometimes people just need to see that, and I'll give them running programs and etc.
And what's your address for your website?
It's called the Mental Health Wanderer.
Okay, brilliant. So if anybody just kind of clicks on that, and there's advice for everybody on there. Yeah.
Feel free. You know, always reach out to me. Drop me a message if you want any advice. I'm more than happy to help.
Well, thank you very much, Gareth. It's been great talking to you, and good luck in Edinburgh to Glasgow.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem.